Good morning, everyone. If you can have your attention, we're going to get cranking. So we've been doing these programs every 2 years since 1996. My name's Monty Dew. I'm the 911 administrator at the Mercer County Sheriff's Office, and with me on the track today is Captain Lori Kanapke and dispatcher Rachel Williams. We're going to be doing some narrating today, so we can call your attention to what's going on out here. So the big thing for you to understand, there's no jokes here today. We're here to deliver a message, and hopefully you guys take this home and into your life. In a little while, you're going to hear from a real life story from our guest speaker. We'll introduce her a little later. And we'd like you to give her your full attention, because her son's not coming back to go to school today. You know, her son's not coming back today to go to work. We're all going to go back to our lives after this program here today. So we want you to give your attention, your full attention to what we're doing today. We're going to show you there are 60 plus first responders standing down there at the track, and they're going to be coming in, and we're going to be narrating this scene for you. So right now I'd like you to turn your attention to Captain Lori Kanapke, and she's going to get us started.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome you to this educational program. This morning's program was developed because of concern for your safety. That concern is shared by your parents, teachers, law enforcement, fire, and EMS personnel that serve and protect you every single day. Many young adults do not understand the seriousness of being involved in a car crash. Hopefully, the program today will give you a better understanding of that impact, the tragedy, and the permanence of a car crash. Most of you may have heard or read about, or may even know young adults your age who have been involved in a serious car crash. Many of these crashes result in injuries that can leave lifelong disabilities. Others are not so lucky. They're dead. Some of these accidents are truly that, accidents. However, many accidents have been caused by the choice of drivers who consume alcohol or drugs, or by driver inattention, by such things as texting while driving. Whatever the cause or lack of cause, the ending is always the same: the senseless injury or death of a young adult. These accidents can be prevented by making better choices. Today's program will be different from any other traffic safety demonstration you may have seen before. You will be exposed to the very graphic scene of a tragic accident to see for yourself how the experience unfolds as it will in real life and death situations. Please pay special attention to the large clock on the stage. This clock will give you a running time of how long it takes to care for the injured, and imagine the pain, stress, and anxiety everyone at the crash scene is feeling. You must also understand that the police, fire, and EMS personnel are working with a time frame called the golden hour, which starts the moment the accident occurs. The golden hour is when definitive medical care to the injured persons is most critical. The first hour, the golden hour, is literally a time of life or death. Before we start today's demonstration, everyone please take a few seconds to think about someone you may personally know who has been seriously injured or killed in a car accident. I'm sure that each of us can think of at least one person. Unfortunately, some of us can think of more than one person. The purpose of this program is to try to prevent each of you from becoming one of those people we stop to think about.
We all realize that statistics are just facts on paper. The statistics I'm about to read are very important, and you need to be heard. There were 1,202 traffic fatalities in Ohio last year. 45.4% were alcohol related, 28.8% were speed related, and 2.8% were distracted driving related. 46% of teen drivers say that they text while they drive. Texting and driving makes a driver 23 times more likely to be involved in a motor vehicle crash. In a fatal car crash, passengers are more likely to be killed than drivers. For every 8 driver fatalities, there are 18 passenger fatalities. Among passenger vehicle occupants killed in 2019, almost half were unrestrained. The fatal crash rate for teens is 3 times greater than the driver of the age 20 and over. We ask that each of you watch very closely and seriously think about what is taking place in front of you. Again, pay close attention to the clock occasionally and remember the golden hour.
In order for you to relate to the victims in today's horrific accident, we need to give you a little background about each of the students in these vehicles. The classmates of our first vehicle have just left a party where they all consumed different amounts of alcohol. Our players are:
My name is Connor Allstetter, and I'm a senior at Salina High School. I am the son of Chad and Kim Allstetter and an older brother to Carter. I'm a member of the football, basketball, and baseball teams. After graduation, I plan to attend the University of Cincinnati to study in construction management.
Connor turned 18 years old at the beginning of the school year and will lose his license for the rest of his life. Connor will be arrested today and will be charged with the deaths that were a result of this horrific crash.
My name is Madeline Edlin, and I am a senior at Salina High School. I am the daughter of Amy Schmidt and Christopher Edlin, and the youngest sister to siblings Kelsey, Catherine, and Isaac. I am the senior class secretary, and I am involved in the National Honor Society, Student Council, and Honor Council. After graduation, I plan to attend Bethel University to pursue a degree in nursing.
Madeline had plans to attend college after graduation, but unfortunately those plans have ended. Madeline's parents and family will receive devastating news from law enforcement that she did not survive the car crash. Madeline was killed on impact.
My name is Piper Andrew, and I am a senior at Salina High School. I am the daughter of John Andrew and Keith and Misty Clayman. I am the youngest sister to Austin, Connor, Nadine, Blaze, and Chase. I am a member of Student Council and the secretary of the National Honor Society. After graduation, I plan to get a degree in criminology.
Piper had plans to attend Cincinnati in the fall. However, Piper's injuries were fatal, and her family will also receive news that she did not survive the crash today.
My name is Michelle Elston, and I am a junior at Salina High School. I am the daughter of Steve and Robin Elston and younger sister to Ellie, Isaac, Nicole, and Madeline. I play tennis and am on the swim and dive team. I participate in band, National Honor Society teams, and serve as a junior class officer. After high school, I plan to go to college in engineering.
Michelle's life will be forever changed after today's car crash. Michelle will incur life-threatening injuries and will require rapid transport by ambulance to a level 1 trauma center. Unfortunately, Michelle will not recover from her injuries and will be confined to a long-term healthcare facility for the rest of her life.
Our second car today is another group of Salina High School students also heading to after-prom festivities. They are having some of the happiest moments of their lives, which is about to be changed. Today will not end well for any of the students involved.
My name is Nate Boley, and I am the son of Larry and Amy Boley, and a brother to Logan. I am a member of the varsity golf team, senior class president, and a member of the Western Buckeye League Sportsmanship Committee, and a board member for Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost's Advisory Board. After graduation, I plan to further my education at the University of Toledo, majoring in business.
Nate's life and future dreams will change today. He will require rapid transport to a trauma center in order to save his life. Nate will need numerous emergency surgeries and months of therapy to repair his broken body.
My name is Selena Posada, and I am a senior at Salina High School. I am the daughter to Ben Posada, and I am a sister to 9 and an aunt to 4. I am a member of the Salina High School choir, band, track team, fall plays, and spring musicals. After high school, I plan to attend college to pursue my medical degree in orthopedic surgery.
Selena's life has changed drastically today as she will receive very serious injuries. Selena will have a very lengthy recovery time and will be bound to a wheelchair for the rest of her life. Selena will require rapid transport to a local hospital and then be transported to a level 1 trauma center.
My name is Bryson Miracle. I am a senior at Salina High School. I am the son of James Miracle and Kimmy Bilker. I am a 4-time varsity letterman and 2-time captain of the wrestling team. After graduation, I plan to attend a 4-year college for electrical engineering.
Bryson's dream to attend college will end today. The pain and nightmares will only just begin for Bryson's family and friends as he will die upon impact in the crash today.
My name is Audrey Albers and I am a senior at Salina High School. I am the daughter of April and Chris Albers. Throughout my 4 years at high school, I have been actively involved in the school and am a member of the National Honor Society. After graduating, I will be attending the Modern College of Design to pursue a career in graphic design.
Audrey will incur extreme emotional distress today and for years to come. Audrey will unfortunately not recover from her anxiety and depression from the accident and will be confined to a long-term mental health care facility.
Connor Alstetter and his passengers have just left prom at Romer's and are headed to a friend's house. Although Connor has consumed some alcohol, he still makes a decision to get behind the wheel to drive his friends around. Connor is too busy texting a friend and takes his eyes off the road for only a brief moment. As Connor removes his eyes from the road, he drives off the right side of the roadway. Connor attempts to correct his mistake, but quickly loses control of his vehicle. He overcorrects and goes left of center, failing to see an oncoming vehicle being driven by Nate Boley. Both vehicles are carrying classmates heading to after-prom festivities. The two vehicles hit head-on with a resounding crash noise that can be heard for over a mile away. Another car of Salina High School students, Quinn Andrew, Alex Ebright, Carly Follenkamp, and Haven Monte, are also headed for after-prom activities. They are the first to drive up on the horrific crash. 911 from his cell phone.
In order for you to relate to the victims in today,
What happened? Maddie, where were you? What did you do? Guys. What happened?
Bryson! Bryson!
Maddie!
Wake up! Bryson, wake up! You feel my legs. My arms.
Why is the door open?
Nate, wake up! Nate!
Bryson!
Bryson! Guys, I think Bryson's dead! Bryson, wake up! Wake up, Bryson! Connor? Connor? What happened? What just happened? Bryson! Get up! Get up! He's not moving. I can't move my leg! I can't feel my leg! Guys! I can't move! There's a car! Why can't I feel my legs? Okay. He's not getting up! What did you do? What happened? Carly, it's Alex! Alex!
911, like an emergency. There's been a very bad accident on the road, north of Howard Road. Please hurry, there are a lot of kids hurt. Okay, and what is your name? My name is Alexander Ebright. Really bad. Please hurry, get someone to your house. Okay, Alex, can you tell me how many vehicles are involved?
There are 2 cars involved, and it looks like they hit really hard. There are lots of kids hurt here.
Okay, and how many people do you think are hurt? This is really bad. There's 46 people who are hurt. Some people are pinned inside the vehicle.
There's a body laying on the road, and she's not moving at all. I think she may be dead. Oh gosh, please hurry and get some help here.
Okay, I'm gonna get somebody headed that way. Don't move anybody that's hurt, okay?
Okay, we will wait till help arrives. There's a guy staggering around from one of the cars. He looks hurt and he's drinking something.
Okay, I'm gonna send help now. Let them know when they arrive on scene, but they're on the way, okay? Thank you for calling, and you can hang up now. Okay, please tell them to hurry. Okay, they're hurrying.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
While we're waiting for help to arrive, let us share with you what just took place in this crash. In the first 1/10 of a second, the front bumper and grille of both our students' cars collapsed into the front and side of each car. The engine compartment is quickly pushed into the area where driver number 2, Nate Foley, and his passenger, Selena Posada, are seated.
In 2/10 of a second, the hood of Connor Allstatter's vehicle is crumpled and raised and smashes into the windshield. The rear wheels of the car leave the ground. The airbags in both vehicles deploy. Although the crash causes a sudden stop to both vehicles, the occupants of both vehicles continue to move forward at the car's original speed. Madeline Evelyn's body hits the dash and windshield at over 55 miles per hour. If her legs are straight at the time of impact, they are both snapped at the knees. Madeline's already limp and lifeless body is ejected from the vehicle. She is dead on impact. Piper Andrew and Michelle Elston are both thrown forward in the vehicle and hit the roof of the car on impact. Piper and Michelle are now both trapped in the crumpled vehicle and have both to be extracted by emergency personnel.
In 3/10 of a second, all of the occupants of both vehicles continue to be propelled towards the dash and windshield area of the car. The windshield of both vehicles shatters, sending thousands of tiny shards of glass into all of the crash victims. The shards of glass are like razor blades flying through the air and will inflict multiple cuts on all of the victims. Nate Foley, Selena Posada, Bryson Miracle, and Audrey Albers will all remain inside the vehicle, but will have numerous broken bones, cuts, and internal injuries. Bryson Miracle will take the force of the crash impact and be propelled forward at over 90 miles per hour. The force of the impact inside vehicle number 2 will fracture Bryson's skull. He will be rendered unconscious and death will be instant.
In 4/10 of a second, the cars will be pushed several feet from each other. The vehicle's airbags have deployed. Although very seriously dazed, bleeding, and confused, driver Connor Allstetter will be able to unfasten his seatbelt and exit the vehicle. The steering wheels in both vehicles are bent under the tremendous force of the accident. Several passengers are still in each of the vehicles, but will need extricated by emergency personnel. Madeleine's lifeless body now lays several feet from the vehicle. In less than 1 second of this crash, Piper and Bryson's impact in each of their vehicles will prove fatal. All of these incidents occurred in less than a second.
In a matter of a few seconds, Connor Allstetter is now outside of the vehicle and gets a glimpse of the now horrific car crash. The entire front of both vehicles are totally destroyed from the violent impact. The force of the crash has misshapen both vehicles. All of the doors are jammed and will need to be removed by emergency personnel. Several crash victims are trapped. 3 students are dead. 4 students are critically injured. Numerous emergency personnel will be required to get the victims out of the mangled vehicles. Please give your attention and watch now as numerous emergency responders work to aid the living and extract the dead. Please keep an eye on the golden hour clock. This is extremely precious time.
Okay, so we're hearing the first emergency vehicles are approaching. With this crash being northeast of Salina, it would take them just a few minutes to get there. Salina would be the first responding fire and EMS, and our law enforcement could really be anywhere. They could be coming from Port Recovery, they could be coming from Menden. We never know where they're at what time. So as they arrive here, they're going to assess the scene quickly to see what other resources they might need, whether they're going to have to cut these cars apart to get people out. And you look at where we're at, we're 7 minutes and almost a half here since this crash happened. So we're already 7.5 minutes into our golden hour, and so they're going to work fastly. They're going to be making radio calls and phone calls and more help here. So let's give our attention to these first arriving units, and we'll let you know what's happening here as they're doing it. So they'll do a very quick assessment. Okay, they're going to look over. They're going to realize, they're going to determine what kind of injuries they have, what kind of additional resources they need. You can see our first deputy has arrived on the scene, and they'll be doing what they need to do. And there will be multiple other resources heading here very shortly. Okay, they have determined that they're going to need to cut this car out, cut this car open to get these some of these victims out. Additional resources have been called for, so they're on the way, and we're going to see how this quickly unfolds here. Okay, so you can see this is a very long scene, and this is exactly what you would see if this was out in your neighborhood, if this was out in the country, or realistically, even if this was a multiple injury accident in a village or a town. This is what you would see a multiple response from here. Our OIC on the scene has determined that they need a helicopter, so that's been called for, and they'll be on the way to our scene here shortly. And we've determined, you can see we have an EMS worker working on the person that's been ejected, and it looks like we're pronouncing this one as deceased. It's been ejected outside of the vehicle. Now see the Salina guys, the full water firefighter guys are starting to work on the cars so that they can get to the victims. If this was a true head-on crash, all this would be buckled and would actually be unopenable, so they would not be able to open any of these doors. They would not be able to really get in. If you can see where we're using an extraction tool here, and they very quickly have removed that first door, and so they have access to the backseat victims, and they're working on, getting committing to all the victims. So you can see we're still working on taking these cars apart. We've got numerous EMS personnel on the scene. We've got the fire department's busy doing their thing. We hear radio traffic, our helicopters inbound, and we'll be here shortly. Getting these victims out is very tedious work because we need to make sure that EMS personnel will make sure that they stabilize these patients. They're trying to figure out the ones that are conscious and can talk. They'll be asking them, where do they hurt? We'll do assessments to figure out whether they're broken bones or bleeding, and so we're gonna take our time on the EMS side to make sure that we don't do any further injuries, getting our injured victims out of the car and getting them into the squad. You can see that we have covered our first deceased victim, which is outside the vehicle. So the law enforcement personnel are doing their thing. They're getting ready to, this will be a very extensive investigation for them. This is one of those crashes, anytime that there's a vehicle accident like this, especially with involves a very serious injury or very serious or fatal, this is one of those scenes that are, we would call our accident reconstruction team, and they would work on this scene for this NRH team back together, trying to figure out what happened. And so this isn't really a simple thing for law enforcement either. They're going to be here for quite a while doing measurements and putting things together and trying to figure out the fault and speeds and everything that details with this accident. So even a little piece of bumper, it might have flew off and flew down the road several yards is important to the accident investigation too. So nothing gets overlooked, and deputy sheriffs and highway patrol folks will be on this scene for a long time investigating this accident. So we're still working on getting our victims out, and this helicopter will be inbound here just shortly, and we'll have victims to take to the helicopters. This might be one of those scenes where we have more than one helicopter. We've had those. And those are very great resources. They can obviously make great time getting patients to the hospital. And there's probably a good chance that even some of these victims that are going to go to the local hospital, probably a good chance that they're probably going to get a helicopter ride from our local hospital to a bigger trauma center like Dayton or Fort Wayne or Lima, possibly. So there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of care to be taken. for these students that are injured. And so you can see the EMS and fire people are taking their time on getting our students out of this crash. So you can see we're 19 minutes in, and a couple of our patients are already on the way to the hospital. Where I'm standing here, this is the patient in this ambulance that will be put on our helicopter here in a few minutes. And once the helicopter lands, their crew is going to want to assess this patient also. We're going to get an update from the EMS crew that's working on this patient here, and they'll put them on their gurney, and then within off time here, they'll be at another hospital within about 20 minutes or so. This patient here is headed for a long day. So our helicopter's overhead. They'll circle around. They're getting their instructions from the landing zone. This is our Lutheran Air helicopter, which is based over Portland, Indiana. This helicopter actually has roughly a 10-minute ETA from call time to cold water. That's pretty impressive. That means that crew is hopping out and getting to it, and they can be on that pad in cold water in about 10 minutes or so. So this is a very valuable resource for our fire and EMS folks in our community. And so we'll give them time for their landing here on the infield, and they're going to come over here and work with the crew in this ambulance. We have another patient back here who's getting ready to be transported to another hospital. When we have a multiple vehicle accident like this, it is quite possible that we would split these number of patients up between multiple hospitals. Typically, our local ambulances go to 1 of 3 hospitals, either Coldwater Community, or St. Mary's or Van Wert, so it's very possible that these students could wind up at 3 separate hospitals, depending on the amount of patients and the severity of the trauma. So we've got, what we can see here is we have 3 fatalities, which we'll have to deal with a little later. We've got this young man here who's been ejected and unfortunately lost his life on the hood of this car. And our young lady here who was ejected. And then we have another young lady here in this car who's also lost her life. We'll have to remove those, and normally our coroner will be here to pronounce death. So here's our Lutheran Air helicopter landing now. 22 minutes in. So this is reality. I mean, this could be a very, very reality time for them. The time we called it, the time we were seeing. So we're right on point with our time. so our helicopter crew will make their way over, and we'll direct them to the ambulance with their patient in it. You can see them coming across the field, and like I said, they'll confer with this crew. And it's quite possible that depending on where our landing zone is for the helicopter at the scene, it could be in a field, it could be on a roadway, it could be in somebody's yard. These helicopters are permitted to pretty much take whatever space is needed in an emergency like this. So it's very possible that they might be a little piece away, and we would actually take this patient to the helicopter wherever they've landed and meet the crew. So we see them walking over, and one of our EMS personnel will meet them, and they'll do their quick assessment. And like I said, very possible they'll drive this patient right out to the helicopter. So what we got going on now, our Lutheran Air crew has made it to the ambulance, and they're going to do a somewhat fast assessment to see what needs to be done, and they'll determine whether they need to do any further treatment, start any further drugs or IVs or what have you on this patient. So this ambulance will probably be leaving soon, and probably heading to the helicopter. So we're just short of 25 minutes in. Again, I think we're really on point for the helicopter's arrival time, and they'll make fast time when they leave here with a patient or any scene with a patient. They have priority flight, so they can get to whatever hospital they're going to pretty quickly. So our ambulance is on the way to the helicopter with our last patient that's on the scene. We've got a little bit more work here to do yet. The fire department has determined that they need to take the roof off this other vehicle because we have we have to get these deceased patients out, and one of them is still trapped in the vehicle there, so they're going to take the roof off that car so we can get that deceased young man out of that vehicle. So our ambulance is out to the helicopter. They'll make they're making some quick assessments, and our Lutheran Air crew is they're doing some quick assessments, and they'll be working on that young man from the time they lift off to the time they get to whatever hospital that they're going to be transported to. So we live in a very great community where we have a lot of volunteer fire and EMS in our community. Salina City is the only full-time fire department. The other 9 fire departments are volunteer in Mercer County. Our EMS stations are volunteer besides Salina. So, depending on the time of day, getting resources can be a little bit of a struggle in the volunteer world. So they would call for help from wherever need be. And that might be coming from Rockford, that might be coming from Coldwater, that might be coming from St. Henry. It could come from any of the locations in Mercer County. So, our wait time at this scene, depending on severity, we could wait a while for EMS to get to this scene. So we're very thankful for all of our volunteers and our law enforcement agencies. You see those 3 cruisers sitting down there. One of the things we're grateful for is that we have the support of everybody in the county for our narcotics program, and we're going to read you a very impressive list here at the end of the program, and just want you to know that everybody's here for the same purpose, and we're here we care about you, we care about your future, and we want you to think about the choices you're making. And in a little bit, when we introduce our guest speaker, again, that's reality. And you're going to hear about that here in a little bit. Okay, so while we're waiting for the fire department to finish getting the roof off, our law enforcement officers are going to be doing some field tests on our suspected at-fault driver. They have determined that he may have been drinking and that he may be impaired. So they're running through some tests now This is something that's normally witnessed by multiple law enforcement officers on the scene. They're running, Deputy Walker is running the student through the HGM test there. And so we're looking for specific movement of the eyes, and so they'll do some other tests there, and then they'll determine whether this driver has been is impaired. We know that our driver is 18 years of age, so will obviously face adult consequences with whatever's happening in this crash. So our fire department personnel now have that roof removed, so we'll be able to momentarily here deal with the unfortunate part of this fatality that we have in there. They're explaining, our officers are explaining a test to our driver, the walk and turn, and so we're explaining to our driver what they need him to do. Again, we're looking for specific things, specific movements. It's like our driver might be struggling just a little bit. So Deputy Webster there is explaining to the driver what he needs him to do with the specific test that they're administering at this moment. Again, this is all reality, folks. If we had a repair driver at the scene, this is exactly what would be going on at the scene, along whatever roadway we're on, and you can see we now have an OSP trooper that's on the scene with the deputies, and expect to witness and observe what's going on there too with the test. And this is all things that would be used in court. So this young man winds up going to court for the result of this accident. Unfortunately, all of the things that is being gathered here down in front of the sheriff cruiser will be part of that court process. So we suspect that shortly this driver is going to be placed under arrest, and at 18 years old he will be taken to the county jail. Will be booked in, and charges will be prepared. And with the fatalities in this case, this is a pretty brutal path for this young man forward. There's probably a good chance he's going to lose his driver's license for maybe the rest of his life. He may not be able to get a driver's license for the rest of his life. He's probably going to spend some time in jail. And then obviously he's going to have to deal with these consequences in the community where which he resides. So This is very serious stuff here. This is all about choices. And, unfortunately, our driver today made the choice to, so what we're doing now is a PBT test, which will tell the deputies whether there's an alcohol level. This is one of two This is one of two tests that this young man will have to take with his breath. This is an on-scene test, and probably not a good thing to run. So as you can see, they now have that young man secured in the cruiser. He'll be taken away here shortly to be taken to the jail. Okay, so one of the things we unfortunately have to deal with, and you'll notice, we still have a lot of our fire personnel are still on the scene. Some of our EMS people are still on the scene here. So unfortunately, we have to deal with the death of these 3 students that are still in these cars. So what you're going to witness here shortly is the removal of those bodies, and they will be placed on backboards and prepared for pronouncement of death. Normally that would be done by our county coroner. Would come to the scene and would have to observe these bodies and look at the bodies to pronounce the death at the scene. And then what comes with this? Well, with social media, can we probably believe that the parents of these students probably already know about this accident? That's the very reality. We've had accident scenes where we have family members on the scene before our personnel ever get there. And so this could be a very chaotic scene. This could be, this is very, very real. We could have parents coming to the scene. We could have any amount of relatives arriving at the scene that we would have to deal with. So again, very long investigation for our law enforcement personnel. So we have a lot of work to do here yet. Okay, as you can see, our fire and EMS personnel are doing the very unpleasant task of getting these bodies ready to remove from the scene. So a call has been made, and the actual funeral homes would come and remove these bodies. And we'll need to contact, if relatives don't know, they will be contacted and informed of this very bad day.
Three people have been killed in a two-vehicle accident that happened last night at Salina Road, north of Howick Road. The police suspect the driver, 18-year-old Connor Alstetter, was under the influence of alcohol and/or drugs, plus they cite the possibility of inattention due to texting as a factor in this crash. The driver of the first vehicle, 18-year-old Connor Alstetter, has been arrested and charged. His passenger, Madeline Eblin, was pronounced dead at the scene. Also, Piper Anger, another passenger, was pronounced dead at the scene. Their passenger, Michelle Elston, suffered severe injuries and was taken by ambulance to a hospital. In the second vehicle, the driver, Nate Boley, was taken by helicopter to a trauma center. Passengers Selena Posada was taken by ambulance to the hospital with critical injuries. Passenger Bryson Miracle was killed. Another passenger, Audrey Albers, was taken to the hospital by ambulance with severe injuries. All of the students were from Salina High School and were on their way to an after-prom for activities in their respective vehicles. Stay tuned as additional bulletins will be provided as more information is gathered.
Okay, so our bodies have been removed, and we said our county coroner's office would normally come and pronounce death, and look at these bodies to make sure that what happened, and they will have some reports to do. So the coroner would actually come to the scene and observe these bodies, and this is not a very pleasant job by any means, and it's just a horrible ending to this day. So this is the reality we want you to take with you today. This is something that could actually happen. We have 3 students here who have lost their lives today. This is the start of a very bad time for families of these 3 students and your communities. And this is one of those things that'll, that's what we talked about for days in your community if this thing happens. So now we're going to await the arrival of our funeral homes to remove these 3 bodies.
Prom code. I went to a party, Mom. I remember what you said. You told me not to drink alcohol, Mom, so I drank soda instead. I felt really proud inside, Mom, the way you said I would. I didn't drink and drive, Mom, even though others said I should. I know I did the right thing, Mom. I know you're always right. Now the party is ending, Mom, as everyone drives out of sight. As I got into my car, Mom, I knew I'd get home in one piece. Because of the way you raised me, Mom, so responsible and sweet. I started to drive away, Mom, but as I pulled onto the road, the other car didn't see me, Mom, and it hit me like a load. As I lie here on the pavement, Mom, I hear the policeman say that the other guy is drunk, Mom, and now I'm the one who'll pay. I'm lying here dying, Mom. I wish you'd get here soon. How come this happened to me, Mom? My life has burst like a balloon. There is blood all around me, Mom. Most of it is mine. I hear the paramedics say, Mom, I'll be dead in a short time. I just wanted to tell you, Mom, I swear I didn't drink. It was the others, Mom. The others didn't think. He didn't know where he was going, Mom. He was probably at the same party as I. The only difference is, Mom, he drank, and I will die. Why do people drink, Mom? It can ruin your whole life. I'm feeling sharp pains now, Mom. Pains just like a knife. The guy who hit me is walking, Mom. I don't think it's fair. I'm lying here dying, Mom, while all he can do is stare. Tell my brother, tell Daddy to be brave. And when they bury me, Mom, write, Daddy's girl on my grave. Someone should have told him, Mom, not to drink and drive. If only they'd have taken the time, Mom, I would still be alive. My breath is getting shorter, Mom. I'm becoming very scared. Please don't cry for me, Mom. When I needed you, you were always there. I have one last question, Mom, before I say my last goodbye. I didn't ever drink, Mom, so why am I to die? This is the end, Mom. I wish I could look you in the eye. To say these final words, Mom, I love you and goodbye.
Okay, as you can see, we've got the 2 funeral homes that have arrived here on the scene. We have another EMS unit that will assist with transporting the 3rd deceased person out of here. And this is a very unpleasant job for these folks. Very unpleasant for fire and EMS personnel as well. And, you know, living in a small community, everybody knows everybody. There's a good possibility that some of our fire and EMS people who have worked on this team know these students. So it's very personal for them as well.
Driving home from Ohio. I was driving home from Ohio. I had a long day ahead of me. I was coming back to be with my friends and family. From the wrong side of the highway comes this white and blinding light. I tried to swim around it, but the glow was way too bright. The car smacked into mine. My feet slide out from under me. My car spins across the road and runs into a tree. The boy then staggers from his car. "Are you all right?" he cries. There's liquor on his breath and a dazed look in his eyes. Does he ever read the papers and know that it's all real? Did he not know what happens when you're drunk behind the wheel? He wipes the blood off my face and runs his fingers through my hair. He said he was sorry, and he did see me there. It's so hard for me to breathe. I feel the end is near. The boy begs me not to leave, and down his face rolls tears. He knows now what he has done, but it's far too late. He's not an evil kid. He just made a big mistake. I can't fight it anymore. I know I'm going to die. Tell my friends I love them. Tell my mom not to cry. Put a cross here on this road for all the world to see. Let everyone who drinks and drives stop and think of me.
All right, I'm going to call all of our participants back onto the track. I want you to get the full gravity of how many people took part in this. And we're going to introduce our guest speaker here in a little bit. But I want you to see how many, just how many people took part today. Some of them are still outside. So we'll grab them and get them in here. Guys, if you could come down here, please. So the first thing I want to tell you is that all of these law enforcement, fire, and EMS people deeply care about you. Like I said, we live in a highly volunteer community when it comes to fire and EMS. And a lot of these folks have took off work today to be here to deliver a message to you. And here in a minute, we're going to introduce our guest speaker, and that's the reality. We're all going back to work today. You guys are going back to school today. But what Laura's going to tell you here in a couple of minutes, we can't change. So here's something I want to end our portion with before we get to Laura. So just 2 weeks ago today, Gracie Machado, Brooklyn Triplett, Austin Holt, Madison Robinson, Addison Gratz, and Memory Wilson. These 6 girls were killed in a crash just 2 weeks ago today. They were all high school students at Tishomingo, Oklahoma. And for those of you who may not know about Tishomingo, it's the home of Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani. That's what it's famous for. It's a community of 3,100 people. The 6 girls had left their high school and were on a lunch break. And the reports at this point said that they did a stop and go at a very dangerous intersection, and they were hit by a loaded semi. And all 6 of those young ladies lost their life 2 weeks ago today. We do not want this to happen in our community. Distracted driving is one of the highest causes of crashes. Texting, messing with your radio, turning and talking to somebody in the back seat, any number of things, okay? We're here today to deliver a message. And if that message seems heavy, that's what we want it to be. Because we don't want this kind of scene unfolding anywhere on a Mercer County road. And we care and love our students here, and we want to keep you all. We want to get you to adulthood and make you profitable in our community. So we're going to introduce Laura, and I would like you to give Rachel your attention here as she introduces our guest speaker.
I want to introduce you to my friend Laura Cruey. I had to make sure to how to say her last name, but it's Cruey. She traveled here today to share her own personal story with you. She's a registered nurse and works 2 jobs to provide for her family. She works in a long-term care facility in Montgomery County and another in Auglaize. She is currently the state chair of MAD of Ohio and educates in multiple counties, including Mercer, Greene, Montgomery, Miami, Auglaize, Franklin, the city of Cincinnati, and any other county who asks. She volunteers her time to do speaking events at OBI weekend intervention programs. Laura lives in Pleasant Hill in Miami County with her spouse Ron Sager and her youngest son Brian Sager. She is the proud mother of 2 wonderful boys, but unfortunately her oldest son Joey had his life cut short due to an impaired driver who was also speeding. Joey was a senior at Piqua High School and Upper Valley JVS in Piqua in September of 2010. Joey wanted to be a machinist just like his dad and loved running demolition derbies with his brother Brian. September 21st, 2010 changed their lives and all who knew Joey. Joey was hit and killed by an impaired driver on a Tuesday afternoon. Joey had just started his senior year of high school, but he would not be able to graduate due to the actions of another person. Laura is here today to share her story of her son Joey. Give Laura your attention.
First off, I want to tell everybody thank you for having us. For you guys, this was an exercise and an educational moment. For me and my family, this is just all too real. September 20th of 2010 was a Monday night. My son Joey was a senior at Piqua High School, and his brother Brian was a junior. My boys were the best of friends. Wherever you saw one, you saw the other. They were always together. We're sitting in the living room on that Monday night watching Swamp People, which was Joey's favorite TV show. I'm sitting on the couch and Joey's sitting on the floor. He has his head right here on my leg. Joey wanted to go to the farm science review the next day. I knew the boy that was driving, I had no concerns, so I signed the permission slips for them to go. I'm a nurse, and at that time I worked a job where I had to get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So I gave the boys a hug and a kiss and told them that I loved them, and they could tell me all about farm science review the next day. I said, "I love you, Joey." He says, "I love you, Mom," and I went to bed. September 21st at 1:45 in the afternoon, I get a phone call from my sister. My sister never calls me at work. I asked her what's wrong, and she's like, "Nothing, but I need you to meet me at the license bureau in Troy." I was like, "All right, but why?" She's like, "Nothing, just meet me." So all the way from Vandalia, where I work, to Troy, I'm thinking it's about my dad. My dad's a little older, he lives on the farm by himself. I think I'm meeting my sister to find out something horrible about our dad. I'm met by 3 State Highway Patrol, a road trooper, a sergeant, and my little sister. And on the way into the license bureau, I remember that none of them would look at me, and I remember telling one of them, "Why does my heart tell my feet to run?" And I wished I had. The morning of the farm science review, another one of Joey and Brian's friends decided they wanted to go. There was not enough room in the truck for all the kids, so Joey, being the good big brother that he always was, decided to stay home and let his little brother go. So Brian takes off for the day to make members of him and Joey's friends. My husband was laid off of work at that time, so him and Joey went to our friend's house to pick up a riding lawnmower. My sister sits down in the chair at the license bureau and tells me there's been a horrible crash. She tells me that my husband was taken by care flight to Miami Valley Hospital, and we didn't know that he'd survive. And now she has to tell me that my 6'3", 320-pound gentle giant is gone. I'll never forget telling my sister, "This is the meanest joke you could ever play." She's like, "Laura, it's no joke. Joey's dead." A lady by the name of Leanne decided to go to Myers on that Tuesday morning. She bought a 6-pack of compressed air that would clean her keyboards with. She sat in the parking lot of Myers and huffed an entire can. She was under the influence of an inhalant. She was high. My guys were 4 miles from home. They were almost home when Leanne went off the right-hand side of the roadway on State Route 718, came back up on the roadway and went left of center, and she never stopped. My son saw her, he got down in the ditch to try to miss her, but it didn't do any good. And she hit them at 78 plus miles an hour head-on, driver to driver. The impact was so violent that it tore Joey's truck right off the frame and stood in an L. And the B-pillar where your seatbelt connects behind you, that metal was wrapped around my child like a pop can. And a piece of that metal cut his seatbelt. He was ejected out the back window, where he broke his neck and he died instantly. I'm begging you kids, put your seatbelts on, please. As Joey's mom, I don't have to wonder every day if he had a seatbelt on, would he still be here? On Joey's way out of the vehicle, he collided with his dad, and he broke his dad's neck, and he broke his dad's ribs, and the two of them smashed them together inside the vehicle, tore his spleen loose. My husband's now disabled. He'll never work again. I have now had a household, and I'm a grieving mom until the day I die, because there's no getting over the loss of you. My youngest son just moved out. He got his first house, he's found the woman he wants to marry, and he started his life. My son Joey didn't even get to graduate high school. He didn't get to get that first job, that first apartment. He didn't get to find the love of his life. What he got for his senior year was his mom planning his funeral. I had to pick out his casket, I had to pick out his clothes, and I had to write his obituary. I had to call Brian because he was off making members of him and Joey's friends. I tell him to meet me at the State Highway Patrol post in Piqua, and when the boys get there, they all get out of the truck. Brian gets out of the truck. I tell Brian about the crash. I tell Brian about his dad, but now I have to tell Brian that his best friend in the whole wide world is gone. And I'll never forget Brian looking me in the face and asking me, I don't have a big brother anymore. I'm like, no, baby, you don't. This year will make 12 years since Joey's been gone. And Tuesdays are really hard. My son was born on a Tuesday, he was killed on a Tuesday, and I buried him on a Tuesday. You guys are so important. You have your whole lives ahead of you. Just like my Joey, he was just like you guys sitting in those stands. He went to school, he loved hanging with his friends, he loved making plans for the weekends, he loved giving his teachers a hard time, and he was looking forward to graduation. He'd worked so hard to get to his senior year. But because Leanne chose to drive impaired, she took it all away. And it took less than 10 seconds. From the time that Leanne hit Joey to the time the damage was done, 10 seconds. And my life is forever changed. The second hardest day of my life was the day that we had to take Joey and we had to bury him. I had to figure out who of his friends were going to be his pallbearers. Then, after that, I had to go into the school and collect his belongings. I had to go clean out his locker. I didn't know how to help Joey's friends because they were devastated. Because he was in the classroom on Friday, he was in the classroom on Monday, and he wasn't on Wednesday, and he never came back. He never got to come home again, and I'll never get to hear Joey say, "I love you, Mom." I don't get another memory, I don't get another day. This is the last photo ever taken of Joey, and I take it everywhere with me. You guys, I want you to take something from this today. Not just because I'm a mom, because your parents are down here listening to this message. You guys have all the tools, you just got the education you need to make the right decisions. If you've been out doing something you shouldn't be doing, call your mom, call your dad. Do not get behind the wheel. Don't think it's just a few miles. I've only had a few. I don't feel a thing. I'm okay. Don't take that chance. Let someone come and get you. Because once you see those white sheets on the ground, that means someone's under it and someone's never coming home. And you can't take it back. When you guys leave here today, take something. I want you guys to chase your dreams. I don't want anyone in here to become a memory like my Joey. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. It's a very hard reality to listen to. And if you don't take anything away from today, this was a play that we did back here. And again, we're all going back to our daily routines here a little bit. Take away Laura's message. That's a mom that's going to hurt forever. Put your parents in that position. Put your loved ones in that position. I read the 6 names from the accident 2 weeks ago because it was so fresh. And we talked about that accident in our dispatch center for a couple of days because we felt that even though it was hundreds and hundreds of miles away, we felt that because of the business we're in. And we don't want that to happen here. We have a lot of people who took a lot of time to bring this program to you because we care about all of you. And we want you to stay safe. We have just a couple more things we need to read because you need to hear all of the agencies that were here today. You need to know about all of these people who took their time. We've been holding meetings since October, right? September, October. That we started meetings for this. So it's not a thing that we started a couple of weeks ago. So our first and biggest thank you needs to go to Laura. for being here today to share her story about Joey. She was with us back in 2018. Laura gracefully accepted our invitation for 2020, but the dreaded COVID got us. So unfortunately we had to cancel, but here we are on a beautiful morning at the Mercer County Fairgrounds. We need to thank this group. The Salina High School students were fantastic to work with. Kristen Kearns and her group were absolutely awesome. And if you can't see that makeup, that is pretty real. I told them a story this morning. I remember a number of years ago we were working with Salina schools as the victims, and they got all bloodied up, and some of them left in a car and went to McDonald's and decided to get breakfast. So we received some calls about that one. So Kristen and Ethan, I want to thank you for your for all your help. We need to thank my boss, our boss at the Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Jeff Gray, who allows us all the time to put into this. We want to thank our police chiefs who are here today. Chief Mike Link is here today from St. Henry. Chief Jason Miller is here today from Coldwater. Chief Laux from Fort Recovery texted me this morning and said he was unable to make it, but wanted to pass along that he was certainly thinking about us. Chief Paul May is here from Rockford. We have representatives here from the Ohio State Highway Patrol. Want to thank my two cohorts here who helped put all this together, Captain Lori Kanapke and Rachel Williams, who is one of our dispatchers at the Sheriff's Office. I want to thank Deputy Carla Bacher, Deputy Douglas Webker with the Sheriff's Office for being here. Mercer County EMS is well represented here today. Director Kara Smith is here. We have personnel from our branches from Coldwater and Rockford here today. Want to give a big shout out and thanks to Chief Doug Walters for allowing the full-time guys to come out today. I want to thank my good friend Steve Wooster for being our staging officer down there. There's a lot of work down there putting all of this together, and Steve's been doing that for us for several years. Coldwater Fire Department is here today. I want to thank Chief Penno for agreeing to let them come today. We have the Mercer County Emergency Response Volunteers. Those are the guys that were out there helping park the school buses and get everything arranged out there. This is a lot of work, and we're about 2/3 of the way through the list here. But as you can see by the numbers of people behind me, our list is kind of extensive. We want to thank our good friends from Lutheran Air. I want to thank Greg and Scott. They're here today observing. I'm not sure where they're at, but they own that multi-million-dollar helicopter back there. And so I want to thank them for giving their time and showing that they care about this program also. Three Sons Towing, Hague Towing provided our vehicles. WCSM Radio, that newscast you heard, that was our good friend Kevin Sandler. And Kevin has been a big supporter of the Mock Christ program for a lot of years. Cisco Funeral Home, Lehman Zenzel Funeral Home. Want to thank them for being a part. This program is very easy for us because nobody ever tells us no. I'm not sure what's going to happen. If anybody does tell us no, we're going to be, what? You're the first one. We do very well when we ask for people to help. Salina High School provided that clock back there, so we want to thank them. I want to thank Jonathan Williams from JW Sound and Productions. He helped us put together all of the audio recordings. I want to thank our good friend Steve Merrill back there from Stage Right Productions for doing sound. We need to thank the Mercer County Fair Board because we're here. And again, there's no cost to any of us for using these facilities. We want to thank the Hopewell Grange Hall. We're going to be using that for a little cool down for our folks here in a little bit. And one of my biggest thanks needs to go to your school administrators. So back in late September, we weren't sure we were going to do this program again because we weren't really sure still how we were going to be affected by COVID restrictions. So I sat down and I had a talk with the sheriff, and I said, I don't know, we're at that point where we need to start considering whether we're going to do the program. So we decided to send out an email to your school administrators, which I did. I sat down and sent an email out to all your superintendents and your high school principals. And I just kind of spelled it out and said, hey, we're not sure really what we want to do, but if you folks would like us to do the program, we would certainly like to do the program. Within about 3 hours of sending that email, I had yes, 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 yes. All 6 school districts responded almost immediately, yes, we want this program. So we know this is a day killer for you guys, that you don't get a whole lot of school today. But the one thing that we learned from this day is we don't really have a way to judge this. What I can tell you is that your parents have sat in this grandstand. We started this program in 1996. So some of your parents have sat in these seats that you're sitting in. And some of you have probably heard from your parents about this program. So that's how we judge the success of this. We don't know that any of you are going to walk out of here and think about this program the next time you make a choice to get behind the wheel. Okay? We don't know that. But I can judge it when we have somebody come say, I remember that program when I was a junior or senior in high school. I remember that. No other community does it this way. No other community brings 100% of their juniors and seniors to a program like this. Nobody has this kind of support. Can you put your hands together for these people because they love you? Okay? These people here, okay? They're going to be there if you need them. I hope you never need any of these people. Okay? I hope all they ever get to do is sit. But be guaranteed that if something happens, they are going to be there. Okay? So the other thing's just personal for me, and not to toot my own horn, but this will be probably my last one. I plan to retire before the next one. Miss Rachel and Miss Lori will be taking this program over after this year. So I want to thank the school administrators again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for bringing your students here. I don't know what our count is. I'm guessing we're around 1,000-ish of you here, which is phenomenal. Did I miss anything, ladies? Anything that I missed that we need to cover?